Your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster, could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. It's that love is in need of a love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Hey, it's going round, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. The force of evil plans to make you its possession, and it will if we let it destroy everybody. We all must take extraordinary measures. If love and peace you treasure, then please hear me when I say, oh, that love's in need of a love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Because hey, it's going round, breaking many hearts. Stop, please, before it's gone too far. People, you know that love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. People, you know, hate's going round, trying to break my heart and make me cry. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The world needs your love. Ooh, your love.
Thank you, Celebration. Thank you, Shonda. Thank you. If y'all only knew the many hats that Shonda has worn in the last 24 hours. She's a rock star. Thank you, lady, for all you do. Good morning and welcome to Unity Church of the Hills. We invite you to take a moment and check in on Facebook and follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram as we begin this morning's announcements. If you are here for the first time, welcome. And welcome to you both as well. If you did not receive a welcome packet on your way in, please raise your hand so an usher can bring one to you. Anybody? Good job, ushers. Looks like you covered everybody. Please fill in the card and stop by the Welcome Center in the foyer, ask questions, and connect with us. Most of all, we want to welcome you and thank you for joining us today. Today is the last day to learn more about our prayer chaplain ministry. If Spirit is nudging you to go deeper in service to your spiritual community and grow through the process, learn more at an informational session following the service in 129. Join Comfort Eza as she facilitates an 8-week class about spiritual practices for Lent entitled Fasting and Feasting, Keep a True Lent. The first meeting will be in the chapel this Thursday, February 27th. For more information, please seek comfort in the foyer after service. And now, here is a short video about an upcoming event.
God does not have a bad day. God did not wake up today and think about 50 million ways to torment you. Woo! God has better things to do. Your value is inherently encoded in you, because when you have the courage to be who you are and show up as you are, your life works. Your life works. But my beloved brothers and sisters, you have to cultivate the courage to let go. Yes. Because while you are holding on to the version of life that you know, there is a version of life waiting for you that you can't even begin to imagine. Yeah. While you are holding on to the relationships that you know, there are relationships waiting for you that are in perfect alignment with your infinitely expanding heart. That's freedom. Because from that state, you begin to live from a place of no need. And the person that lives from a state of no need is at peace, is in alignment, is in harmony. The person that has the power to finally be enough and live from a place of no need will not just ascend, but they will walk the earth as a constant reminder of the presence of love, of the presence of light, and of the presence of God. That is what I want for you.
So good. It gets me every time I watch that video. I love it. So next Sunday, please make plans to join us here with Panache Desai for the first stop of his book launch, You Are Enough. As you can see, this event is sure to be electrifying and transformative. Register online or in the foyer after service. Who exactly are our neighbors, and what does loving them look like? What does it personally mean to break down barriers and come together in situations that seem out of our control? Building community of any sort at home, church, or within our country sometimes requires moving through what Martin Luther King Jr. called constructive, nonviolent tension. Navigating this terrain begins with each and every one of us. Join John Fleming and Joni Lorraine for a conscious conversation as they explore what it means to love your neighbor. Thursday, March 5th at 7 p.m. Join us for a meetup at the Water Lantern Festival at Mueller Lake on Saturday, March 7th. This will be a wonderful opportunity to come together in the community for a magical, inspirational event. We will all meet up at 6:45 p.m. and release our lanterns at 7 p.m. For more information, go to unityhills.org. Be in the flow of abundance and support your spiritual home while receiving spiritual food. Last week, John Davidson spoke on the lost art of connection. Copies of his books are available in the bookstore, and 100% of the proceeds go to UCOH. He's sweetened the deal if his books sell out in the next 30 days. He will actually add another $1,000 donation to UCOH on that, and I'm certain he would be willing to sign your book as well. We might be able to twist his arm. A March monthly calendar is available at the Welcome Center back and to the left on the wall. Some March save the dates include Ions on March 10th, Unity's Prosperity class beginning Tuesday, March 24th, the Adult Rally presented by our YOU on Saturday, March 28th, and a Rainbow Fellowship White Elephant Sale also on March 28th. Pick up a monthly calendar so you don't miss a single event. We invite you today to come back at 2 p.m. for a congregational meeting right here in the sanctuary. This will give you an opportunity to get to know our Prospective Transitional Ministry team, Reverend Elizabeth Longo and Reverend David Mosher. Your feedback is important. We value it. If you are in need of childcare for this meeting, please see Linda Hancock in room 140 following the service. All of our upcoming events, plus much more, can be found on our UCOH app. You can sign up for notifications to stay informed about important information, participate in polls, receive Sunday reminders, and more. Download our app today by texting UCOH app to 7977. Now, as we move into a more sacred time in our service, please silence your phones as we begin our worship service.
Children, the Lord said he would be. It doesn't take very many. It can be just 2 or 3. And I feel that same sweet spirit that I felt oft times before. Surely I can say that I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Turn and greet your neighbor.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
We ask that you please be seated.
Good morning. Yesterday, the staff had an opportunity to spend some time with Reverend Elizabeth and Reverend David. Reverend David used the word liminal to talk about this transitionary period that we find ourselves in. And I actually love that word. It represents a period of time when you are standing on the threshold with one foot on one side of the door and one foot on the other, just at the precipice of a new yet to be. It could be a scary time or it could be an exciting time. And I choose to see it as an exciting time. It's a period of rich growth with deep introspection, reflection, and it's full of limitless possibilities. Today, Reverend Elizabeth will speak about the call to love. And love is that guiding principle that when we allow it to move in us, it will guide us effortlessly over that threshold. And so with that, I would like to invite our prayer chaplains and our chaplain emeriti to please stand as we move into prayer. And it is with deep gratitude that we center ourselves in the activity of prayer, connecting with that Christ presence within us, connecting with the all-sufficiency of God, which is everywhere. There is nothing but God here, nothing but God everywhere. We are each made in the image and likeness of that goodness of God. Love is here because we are here. Peace, joy, deep gratitude for that which gives us life and expresses as each one, that this day is made in the image and likeness of that divine, expressing itself so beautifully through this thing we called worship service. We know that Reverend Elizabeth's message is inspired by that love. Celebration expresses and imbues that love, that peace, that joy, divine love. It's who we are. And with deep gratitude, we release this affirmation knowing it is so, and so it is. Amen.
We ask that you please stand and sing along with the congregation song.
Spirit starts down there and it just moves right down the line of celebration. Doesn't it? Isn't it wonderful? He loves to shake me up. Welcome to Unity Church of the Hills. Are you having a wonderful morning so far? Yeah. Each week we affirm together either our mission, vision, principles, or one of our value statements. Today, in light of what Reverend Elizabeth is going to speak to us about, which is love, we're going to focus on that first value, which is love. Together, we believe that we are all fashioned in love and as love. It is in loving that all healing takes place and our true power resides. If this is your first Sunday here at Unity Church of the Hills, we want to welcome you. We do that in a special way because we are a spiritual community of truth seekers who honor all paths to God, and we strive to demonstrate love and acceptance to everyone. So, since this is your first time at Unity Church of the Hills, would you be willing to stand and remain standing while we give you a brief blessing from our hearts? It starts with our hands, and then it comes to our hearts, and I ask the congregation to repeat after me. Welcome. We are so grateful that you joined us today. We are pleased by your presence. And honor your spiritual journey as we enjoy ours. Welcome to Unity Church of the Hills. Woo. We are, I've used the word blessed a lot already. We are blessed today to be joined by Reverend Elizabeth Longo and Reverend David Mosher, the transitional ministry team proposed by Unity Worldwide Ministries. A couple of weeks ago, I was reading an announcement about them and referred to them as traditional ministers. I met them yesterday and found out how wrong that is. They are transitional. Their bios are in today's bulletin. It's worth it. You look at it, have a chance to get to know them better. At 2 o'clock this afternoon in Friendship Hall. I think it's in Friendship Hall. Maybe it's in here in the sanctuary. Okay. But now let's ask you to stand, and we want to show you a warm welcome. And today's affirmations are inspired by Reverend Elizabeth's talk title, A Call to Love. Let's speak them together. God is calling me forward to my greatest expression of love. I release all limitations to being love. I allow love to harmonize, heal, and unify my life now. I am here to awaken, and I embrace my purpose as love now. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. We now invite you to settle in as Reverend Elizabeth will lead us in meditation.
I invite you to take a breath with me, knowing that you are being breathed. The life and the presence of Spirit is breathing in and through you as you. And if you haven't done so already, I invite you to close your eyes and allow the breath to guide you to your heart space. Breathe to your heart. And take a deep, cleansing, healing breath. And as you let go, and let God. Let God be God in you in this very moment. Your feet are on holy ground. You are being held in the arms of love. All is well in this moment. If your heart is heavy this morning, give your concerns to God and take a moment to breathe and allow every part of your being to open, to expand. And once again, bring your attention to your heart space. Feel the heartbeat. It is the heartbeat of the beloved. And you're being invited to cross the threshold to your inner sanctuary, a place where there is peace, a place where you have never been hurt in any shape or form, never been betrayed, a place where you can come over and over again to be renewed, a place where you can call forth the presence of love as healing energy, as guidance, as understanding, greater connection with Spirit, with your community. Breathe into this place, and I invite you, if you're willing, to say, I call forth the presence of love in my life, and I allow it to guide me and to lead me. Breathe again. And I'm going to invite you to begin the process of listening to the call of love. God, guide me and show me. Show me what is love calling me to be. And just let it sit there. Let the question sit in your heart space. And breathe life into it. And let us be in the silence for a moment. As we are in the silence, we listen, listen, listen. And now allow that love that is in your heart to go forth like a beautiful light to every part of your physical body, every cell, every organ, every molecule, allowing love to heal whatever needs to be healed physically, mentally, emotionally. Send your love and light to your family, your friends, anyone in need of a prayer this morning. And let the light that you are be magnified and shared in this space, in your loving community, filling this entire sanctuary. And now breathe and begin to come back into your body. You are love itself. Feel your feet on the ground. Take another breath. Wiggle your fingers. And whenever you're ready, begin to open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, know that your heart is open. It is smiling and it wants to share this love. So turn to your person next to you, closest to you, and just give him your best smile and know that you are looking at the face of God. For there is only God here in this very room. The presence of the beloved is right where you are. All God, all good. And so it is. Amen. Namaste.
Which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from an evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the I gotta take a little time to think things over. I better read between the lines in case I need it when I'm older. Now this mountain I must climb feels like the world upon my shoulders. Through the clouds I see love shine. It keeps me warm as life grows colder.
In my life, there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now. I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. little time to look around me. I've got nowhere left to hide. It looks like love has finally found me. In my life, there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now. I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. And I know you can show me. Let's talk about love. I wanna know what love is. The love that you feel inside. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I feel so much love inside. I know you can show me. I wanna know what love is. Let's talk about love. I want you to show me. I wanna feel it too. I wanna feel what love is. And I know you can show me. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. And I know you can show me.
Wow, 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 wow. Can we give him another handful? I have been blown away by this community. I've been here since Friday, and I have met so many beautiful souls. And if one thing I can say that I'm taking away when I leave tomorrow morning back to Fort Lauderdale is there is love here. Love is here. Love is alive here, and this community is filled with love. And if it is filled with love, get ready, because there's infinite potential right here, right now. That is the truth. And I have a question for you. If there is anyone in the room that has never experienced heartache, pain, suffering, raise your hand, please. Is there any hands up? Okay, if you have experienced some form of loss, heartache, pain, raise your hands. Now, after we go through the experience, and we look back, there's usually a blessing if we are willing to see through the eyes of love and to forgive and let go of any resentments, because love is the greatest harmonizing power in the entire universe. Love heals. And I'm not talking about love as a concept. No. Because the ego mind loves to make anything a thing. This is the way, and this is the only way. No. Love is the energy of all existence. We are swimming in it. We're in it. It is all an ocean of love. Infinite intelligence everywhere. No such thing as a separate life. All interconnected. Nothing is even as solid as it seems. Nothing. So ultimately, when we break down, question every thought, question every story that we create, we can see that underneath it all is love. Everything here that we're experiencing is a play of love. Love knowing itself. Let's take a breath together. And because there is so much love in this room and so much infinite potential, I am going to ask you to join me, if you are willing, to send the love and light out to fill this entire space so that we have a container right here for possibilities, for healing. We ask this presence of love to heal whatever needs to be healed in this room, individually, collectively. Hold the space for the person to your right, to your left, in front of you, behind you. We're holding this vibration of love, this field of love, this field of infinite potential right now. And we also begin to call forth this presence to reveal what is unfolding, to reveal what we're being called to become. That is the path of love. What Marianne Williamson spoke about yesterday, a path of love. And yes, in this human experience, there will be moments when our hearts are broken. But the heart that breaks is just a heart that is even more open for more love. More capacity to love, more capacity to give, because love is a giver. Love just knows how to give of itself. And when you are in the flow of love, you are a giver of life, a giver. Love is generous, and we serve all because we realize that there is no other but ourselves, the one appearing as 7 billion expressions or more. There is a story from India that I love, and it is about Brahma, the god Brahma, who was all alone. And Brahma was bored. So he decided to create a beautiful goddess and he named her Maya. And once he created her, he tells her, "So I have created you so that we can play a game." And she said, "Okay, fine. I'll play the game. We're going to make a wonderful game." So Brahma created the earth, the stars, the planets, the atmosphere, the animals, oceans, rivers, all of creation. And so he tells Maya, "So what do you think of your creation?" He says, "Wonderful. But now I want you to create a being that is so intelligent that can appreciate your creation." So Brahma created human beings. Oh, and he says, "Okay, Maya, when is the game going to start? Are we ready to play the game?" And she said, "Yes, the game is starting right now." And she took Brahma and cut him up in billions of tiny little pieces and placed a piece individually in each and every human being. And to this day, Brahma is still waking up from the dream of separation. Another word for Brahma is the living, loving Christ presence, the indwelling light that is in each and every one of us, the divine self. Call it whatever you want to call it. Our very essence is divine. And we're here to realize and to wake up to this presence. And once we have woken up to this presence, then we're here to share this truth. That is why I am passionate about our unity teachings. And I am passionate about the 5 unity principles, because if we really, really embody them, we can transform our lives. And as a community, there is no limit to what you can do if you're willing to really, really embody these teachings and walk the walk. With God, all things are possible. With love, all things are possible, because God is love. There is nothing but love, the greatest harmonizing principle in the entire universe. God is love. And love is right where you are, because there's only this here now moment. Past is gone. We can't go back. We can't go back. The future, uncertain. We're making the future right now. And if we want a better future, change your thinking. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. We're all of us, living our own unique movie. We're the script writers. We write our own movie. We direct the movie. And we star in the movie. So if you don't like the movie, change it. Change the thinking. It begins here, because there is a tremendous connection between your thoughts and your feelings and the result. The behavior and the result. Behavior or lack of behavior. Put it that way. So once you have bought into a thought that is not the truth of your being, that is not in harmony with the highest potential in you, it doesn't feel good. But once you're hooked by that thought says, hey, come on over. And it calls forth all its friends, the family, everything. We're having a party. And we create a whole story around it. And not only do we create a story around it, then we go forth and say, and then I invite you into my story, and you, and you, and you. And stories get created, and divisions begin to happen. And separation seems to happen. And I'm saying seems because ultimately there is no such thing as separation. So, as Rumi says, stay awake. Don't go back to sleep. And that's a daily process, because the conditioning is very strong. That is the power of a community. It's not enough to sit at home and just read about it. You have to practice it. And when you are down, you have to tell the truth. Be truthful. I'm down. I need help. Can you see the truth in me? Can you pray with me? That's the power of prayer. Prayer is the foundation of this movement. A prayer that transforms lives, affirmative prayer. And when we pray with the energy of love, what are we putting into the field? Because it's not so much about the word. Words are important, yes. Words are extremely important. But it's the energy behind the words, because everything is energy. And we're either co-creating through the power of love, united with faith and imagination, co-creating that kind of world that we want, or we are releasing, letting go. Because if you don't let go, there's a heaviness that is pulling you, and you can't go forward until you release, until you do the forgiveness work. So I'm going to invite you, if there is any thought in you right now, any resentment, anything you have not let go of, because we are in this healing space right now, I invite you to say, I am willing to release it. I am willing to let go of the past. Let it go. Let it go. And allow yourself to embody love. Be willing to be a presence of love wherever you are. And there will be people that touch your buttons. They are the greatest blessing there is, because they remind you that you still have buttons. and that there's still a little more healing to do and a little more work to do, and that's perfectly okay. Yes. Those are the greatest, greatest, greatest teachers. Because every time that we think we got it, oh my, I think I got it, there will always be maybe a family member or somebody that's going to touch your buttons. And then we can humble ourselves a bit. Because the spiritual ego is tremendous. I got it all. I know. I know. No. It's better to be in that space of curiosity, of that place of wonder, of openness. Jesus said, you must be like a child to enter the kingdom of God. And for that, it requires for us to be present and see through the eyes of love, through the eyes of innocence. And when we do, we see how blessed we are. There's so many blessings in our life right now. And yet when something feels a little off, where does our attention go? To that feels off. Remind yourself to step back into center through the harmonizing power of love. This week, Wednesday, is the beginning of Lent. A wonderful time to do some deep, deep soul work, deep healing, deep letting go, releasing, fasting from negative thoughts, fasting from those thoughts that bring you down, and instead feast on the qualities of spirit. Feast on this Christ within you. Every day sit with the Christ in you and just say, what am I being called to be? Before you speak, ask yourself, is this helpful? Is this kind? If not, you know that you know what is yours to do. But take this time to really do some deep work. And there's a lot of opportunities here, many classes, many workshops. Get involved, serve. God is calling you to be a part of something greater. Something is unfolding. There's movement already. Ask, and you will receive the answer. Ask, and it is given. God is calling you to be more. And then practice the art of gratitude. When we are grateful, love expands. So many blessings in our lives. So many blessings. I'm a fan of journaling. I love to journal. Years ago, I did the artist way, and I started doing those morning pages, which sometimes are just an opportunity to dump all the stuff that's going on in here, in my mind, so that my mind gets clear. But when the mind is clear, the mind is open to the mind of God. And when the mind is one with the mind of God, it is a flow, an absolute flow of divine guidance, of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things, opportunities. Because God is always speaking, but we need to listen. We need to listen as we go for a walk in the woods, when we go by the lake, in nature. Listen through our prayer time, in our meditation. Listen. Listen to the call of love. And what you put out, it will come out magnified many, many, many times. So I'm going to invite us this morning, as a spiritual community, if you're willing, to put out that call to the universe and say, okay, God, I am ready to listen to the greatest vision that you have for my life. In this time of these 40 days and Sundays of Lent, I'm going to be open and receptive, and I'm going to do the work. I'm going to commit myself to really, 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 really be open to the call of love. And I'm going to notice my habitual way of thinking so that I can change that. Because I will tell you, 90-something% of our thoughts are recycled. Every morning we get up and we put on the same thinking hat. Thoughts that were given to us about ourselves, our parents, our teachers, everything conditioned us. We're already whole and complete. Nobody's broken here. Everybody is whole and complete and beautiful and magnificent. So it's not so much getting anything as it is undoing, taking out the layers and layers of things that we have believed ourselves to be that we are not. Wake up. In the Talmud, there is a saying that every blade of grass has an angel whispering in its ear, grow, grow, grow. Well, there is an angel right now whispering in your ear, grow, grow, grow. As Hafez says, you are God in drag. An elephant trying to live in an anthole. Let us wake up. The time is now. The possibilities are infinite. We're being called to embody the presence of the living, loving God and be all that we were meant to be. And we have a sacred contract. I think we are living the best of times. And I think we all have a sacred contract. And we chose to be here now on planet Earth. And we chose to be here now in this spiritual community because there is great work to be done. So if you're in, I'm going to invite you to say, I am in. I am willing. And I am listening to the call of love. Let it be so, God. Give us the greatest vision that you have for each and every one in this spiritual community and collectively. And use us and guide us because we are your hands, we are your feet, and we are your voice. And we know there's no such thing as separation. So we completely surrender the ego. We surrender any thoughts of lack, limitation. We surrender fear because we know it's not ultimately real. And we embody this presence of love here, now. And so it is. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Elizabeth. God. What an invitation. Last night, after Marianne did her piece, they did a Q&A session. And in that Q&A session, a woman asked Marianne, what is your vision for how we move forward? And she just kind of shut down the Q&A session and said, I want everybody to close their eyes, and I want them to state, I see a world with. And it went around the room, and there was one that came out that emanated from one of our congregants. And it was, I see a world with a new compassionate man emerging as a new archetype. And there were some mms from the crowd. And where that came from was a men's retreat 11 years ago where we were finishing up the end of the retreat, and one of the men, Clay Boykin, who I don't know if he's here at this service. There he is. Oh, right behind me. Said, we need to do this more. And that started a men's group that since April, following that, has met hundreds of times and spent thousands of hours together, and now has transformed and grown and moved into other areas. It's in Kansas now. There are men gathering in Orlando. There are men gathering in Kenya. That's started from that. So that greatest vision, that saying yes to love expression in some way, he didn't know at that retreat what was going to happen. And we have that for all of us here. And so I'm going to invite the ushers to come down. And while you're in the process of putting your gift and tithe or thinking about it, know that you are putting that tangible energy into this community that does that. And we're so grateful. We're so grateful. We've got a number of different ways that we can do that. You can text, you can go to the kiosk, you can use our new app. However you choose to do it, set that intention. Let's say our blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I circulate, and I am grateful.
I've had some trouble, I've had much pain, but through it all, Spirit gave me the strength to stand, and that's why I stand.
So now we have an opportunity to bless these gifts and tithes, to be grateful for this time, this place, and this energy that's going to move out with intention into the universe, unfolding and rippling out as unconditional love and manifesting in ways that we may get to see some, we may not get to see others, but we can dance in the mystery of knowing that that love is expanding into the universe. We're so grateful. Amen.
Amen.
All right. And now we get to welcome in our bright, bright lights to walking in the light.